Police commanders, esteemed officers and members of various veteran organizations, fellow workers in government, mga mahal kong kababayan. We are drawn together each year on the sacred ground to honor the gallant men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, for our people, and for our future. These are words uttered in utmost respect and gratitude for those who faced the biggest challenges and proved that they had much bigger hearts of courage. 75 years ago, the last stand was taken here in Bataan and Corregidor. Blooded yet unbowed men and women stood their ground to defend ang ating inang bayan and the values we hold dear. We were a young democracy then transitioning from colonial rule. But in that war, we never asked for. We fought shoulder to shoulder with the country that is now the Philippines' only defense treaty ally, the United States of America. This shared juncture in our past should be the firm basis for moving our relations forward with full and mutual respect and sovereignty. As we fought together to stave off the enemy, then, so we should help each other to address the threats that confront our societies, our region, and our world. To be sure, there will be difficulties. But before the lines of duties were clearly drawn, now the menace of terrorism, violent extremism, and transnational crimes such as the illegal drug trade have called into question effort to uphold the responsibility to defend the interest of the common good. We know where we stand. We know what we should do. We will be undeterred in our efforts to secure for the citizens the future they deserve based on the mandate reposed on us by law. 75 years ago, this site became the altar of valor. Today, we should be reminded that amidst the traditional emerging challenges we face, we must not be afraid to fight the good fight when we know it is our hearts of hearts that we do so in the exercise of a solemn duty. That boldness is humbly edified here in Mount Summit. This monument stands firmly for those who fought and fell. This is the bastion of the indomitable spirit that allowed us to rise again as a nation. Our people did not die in vain. The generation was dauntless and determined. Despite the tremendous toll of a war we never wanted, we helped prevent the onward advance of the aggressors in the larger Pacific theater. This is a legacy to the world that the Philippines should be rightly recognized. Paid in blood, the painful lessons of war behoove all of us in the community of nations to work for peace and development. No matter the spoils, war is never worth it. The reasons of aggression against the occupation of nations should not be countenanced. That is why the Philippines continues to articulate our principled position that disputes should be settled in a peaceful manner. This is a responsibility of the states, of all states, great and small, strong or weak. As responsible members of the international community, this is our sacred duty. This is also why the Philippines is the strongest advocate for the positive transformation of relations. With our meaningful shared history, the Philippines and Japan emerged from a benighted period into a bright era of an expanding space for unprecedented partnership. In these modern times, Japan and the Philippines are new allies for peace, development, and the rule of law in the region. As chair of the ASEAN on this 50th anniversary of the association's establishment, the Philippines resolved to do its part in regional community building. We will work hard to achieve greater peace, progress, and prosperity. We will work with the interest and well-being of ASEAN's peoples at the very core. We owe nothing less than this solemn pledge for all those who sacrifice the most for our country's freedom. Our veterans went through one of the darkest chapters in the world history for the benefit of our generation and the generation after us. We must never forget that they endured a war for the sake of the future. We must remember we are the future that they fought for. For us and for the world, they are rightly our heroes. I was born in 1945, during the last stages of the war. Violence was at its worst. When the war ended in September, I was only a few months old. My family did everything to ensure that I would be protected from the ravages of war. True, my family went through a lot, but we were among the fortunate to have survived. Many others, however, did not. Thousands of lives were lost because they had to fight, and they had to fight forever for us. They did not know me. They did not know my family. They did not know all of us, but they died for us. We must never forget that we owe them a deep debt of gratitude. Utang po natin sa kanila ang ating buhay at pangsamantalang ating bayan. Let us take this moment to honor our veterans, the ones who passed away, and the ones who are with us today. No matter what we do, we can never do enough to repay you. But I would like for you to know that your government is doing much, much more. Our surviving veterans have suffered much. They should not suffer more. In the twilight of their years, they deserve a better life. I assure our veterans, their families, that we are prioritizing your entitlements. We have settled the backlog in disability pension. We also made the management of almost 2,000 pension accounts more efficient. Veterans with conditions and their dependents can be assured of free health care at the Veterans Memorial Medical Center and 152 veterans accredited hospital. I am instructing them today to further improve their services and accessibility. As a legacy to the next generation, we have subsidized the education of more than 2,500 of our veterans' dependents under the Scholar ng Bayan program. With the education, we hope they can secure a better future. These entitlements do not compare to the sacrifices that you have made, but we want you to know our nation, our people are grateful to you for what you have done. And we will do better. I ask our young people today to look at your elders with much respect and to view them with a deep sense of thanks. Take the time to recognize them, because what I say is not right. It is the truth. Without them, we would not be here. Let araw ng kagitingan remind us all that Filipinos are capable of tremendous feats of heroism. Let this monument be a beacon to all to be brave in the midst of challenges and uncertainties. Let today be an occasion to reaffirm our vow. We will never waver in our efforts to secure what is best for the greatest common good for our nation. This is the sacrifice of our generation. This is our burden to bear. This we have to take on so we can say, we deserve the ultimate sacrifice paid in the name and our nation's prosperity. I'm supposed to say maraming salamat po, but I have something here for you. Before I end my speech, this is really actually a pronouncement from my office. I am directing the Department of Budget and Management, DBM, hula na ninyo, ha? Inom muna akong tubig. Mabilis pa si Lolo mag-project. I'd like to repeat it. I am directing the Department of Budget and Management, DBM, and the Department of National Defense to expedite the early release of the AAP's retirees pension credentials for fiscal years 2008-2013 in the amount of 6,421,000,000. Mabuhay ang veterano! Mabuhay ang Pilipinas! Saludo ako sa inyo, sir. Sana may gira rin para mahiro kami.